飛ばしたらあんなこんなどんなカーブもへっちゃらさダダダティダダトゥダダうなるエンジンで涙なんかぶちぎれ
Welcome to the Super Sentai Brothers. This is episode 20 of Licensed to Carranger, the internet's best and only podcast dedicated to Gekisou Sentai Carranger. Every week we watch an episode of the show and we share our thoughts with you, the listener. My name is Matt J. With me as always is my co-host and brother Dave. Dave, how you doing today?
I'm great, man.
Nice.
That's it. It's the first week of summer vacation, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
You got your summer mohawk going?
Things are good. It didn't rain today, so that's huge for us.
Dude,
in the Midwest.
Today was beautiful. It was foggy sort of throughout the afternoon, but once early evening hit, it was gorgeous out. I think as soon as we finish up with this recording, I am going to go walk up to the lake, and it's going to be great.
Oh, sounds nice.
It will be, I presume. But you know what else is going to be nice, Dave? It's talking about episode 20 of Gekisou Sentai Carranger. It is called Test Drive, the Ultimate Famous Cars. Dave, would you like to know a bit of trivia about this before we get rolling?
Sure. Of course I would.
Okay. Now, two small bits of information, of course, are that this episode was written by Yoshio Urasawa, and its original air date was July 12th, 1996. Dave, this is the 1000th episode of Super Sentai.
No kidding. It seems like they would have made a bigger deal out of it.
You know, it does seem like they would have done a thing. It's a cool episode, but like, guys,
yeah, there's no
you've been doing a show for like decades. You hit episode 1000 overall.
Yeah, there wasn't like a banner for the opening credits or like confetti or anything, like nothing. There was literally nothing to mark that like
right. The only
this is this huge milestone.
The only reason I know it is because I was looking on the Wikipedia page to check who wrote the episode and what the air date was. But yeah, episode 1000 of Super Sentai.
Wow.
And honestly, episode like 250 or so of this show, which means that we have watched, like, if you really think about it, we've watched about a quarter of what had been available up to this point. Which feels like what would have existed, and also feels like nothing.
Right? Yeah. Wow. We really have. We've consumed a lot of Sentai over the years, Matt.
Yeah, and it's all. Well, it hasn't all been good. I don't want to say that.
No, it's definitely not all been good. But a lot of it has been good, and the parts of it that have been good, some of it has been like surprisingly good.
Shockingly good sometimes.
Like,
but Dave, you know what else is good?
I fully expected
it's
this
cool. I was
show...
going to transition into the 5 stars, but roll.
Yeah,
please.
Sorry. When we started watching these, or like when I started watching this, I fully expected it to be like fun and goofy and like have a good time watching it. I was not prepared for the depth of emotion that this show over the seasons was going to make me feel. And I think that's probably why we keep doing this show. Like, why we keep doing this show, like, why it's still entertaining for me, is that, like, beyond the formulaic stuff, there's a lot of really excellent television going on in Super Sentai.
There are unplumbed depths, my friend. Unplumbed depths.
Well, we've been doing this for 5 years, Matt. Are they unplumbed at this point?
Partially plumbed depths. That is a heck of a tongue twister.
Yeah, you know what we haven't fully plumbed the depths of, Matt, is the 5 stars. Matt, what is our first star of the week?
Dave, our first star of the week. Man, 5 years in, you're asking me the first star of the week. This is
every once in a while,
back on my heels here.
Every once in a while, I like to switch it up.
Well, the first star of the week, Dave, is actually something that we did together, which was very nice, is that we went to the birthday party of our old friend Tim, and it was really nice.
It was, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good.
We'll just talk about a nice time with pals.
Oh, man.
That's it.
It was great. So first of all, I got a chance. So Beth didn't go. She was like, I'll stay home with the kids, and you go to the party. And I love my wife, and I love my kids, and it was like because we have 2.5-year-old twins, we don't get a chance to like just get out and hang out a lot anymore. And it was a real balm to the soul. Like, it was excellent. And
well, additionally, so Tim is the guy who used to run our Wednesday night Dungeons and Dragons game. And so there was a time where like the group of people who was at this party saw each other every week. But in the last couple of years,
and by a period of time, that means like roughly a decade.
Yeah. So like, but for the last couple of years, like life happens, people have kids, and so we haven't seen each other as regularly. But this weekend, we were all there hanging out, and like everybody's kids had like, either they were home with one of the, spouses, or there was a babysitter. And so it was all just like, it really felt like old times hanging out with pals. It was wonderful.
It was great. And I finally got a chance to play Azul. That game's great. I would like to get that game, I think. I think I got to get a copy of it. It's super good. Like, I know I'm not saying really anything new. Azul is like the new Splendor, I would say. It's got a very splendory feel to it.
In the same range.
Yeah.
And also, it is a game that had eluded you for about a year at this point.
Yeah,
right?
Weirdly. You got a copy of it, and you were like, great. And then, like, every time we got together to play it, or to, like, do things, and it was being played, like, I was always doing something else. And so I never got a chance to play it. And so I did get a chance to play it, and I really liked it. It was the great... Well, I love super complicated board games, don't get me wrong, but I also love that style of board game where, like, you have to pay attention to it, but, like, you could also drink some beers and, like, you don't have to... It doesn't, like, consume your being, I think is what I like about it.
Right.
For the time that you're playing. So it's engaging, but not all-consuming. I recommend it. It's good.
It's very good for people who are like board game people, and it's also good for non-board game people. Here is the problem with that. The problem with that is that we played it with our parents, and our mom really likes Azul, and she got a copy. Like, our parents got a copy, and they have been playing it. And now I am worried that the next time I try to play this game with mom, she's just going to... Oh, she's going to crush me.
Yeah. It's not even now.
Well, she only knows about it because it's my game, or I got it first. But now it is kind of her game that I happen to have a copy of.
I was going to say, she definitely, she's going to just, me, it's not even going to be a contest. Like, we're going to play with her, but we won't be playing the same game, I don't think.
So, Dave, what is our second star of the week?
So, our second star of the week is a change that has happened in my household over the last 2 weeks, is we have a new foster kid in. And I can't say a lot about her because I'm legally prohibited from doing so.
That's the nature of the thing.
That's how it works. But what I can say is that she is a teenager, and she is an immigrant. She's an immigrant from Africa. And so...
All right.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Like, she's an amazing kid. Like, she's super, super cool. And there have been, like, some like kind of wild changes in my household. So, like, first of all, she loves to cook. And so...
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And she's a very good cook, which is cool. She's like, oh, I'll help cook. Like, that's a thing I can do. Awesome. Go for it. Like, knock yourself out. Make yourself at home. And, but of course she cooks African food. And so I've been eating a lot of like plantains and oxtails and stuff. It's great. It's delicious food.
Where do you even find oxtails?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, listen, it's tough to go wrong with good oxtail. But so we've been eating a lot of African food, which is great. And also, she had asked, she's like, oh, like, do you have YouTube? Like, can I get on YouTube and watch stuff? And I was like, yeah, of course I have YouTube. Go ahead. And so she's just watching it on the Xbox. And so she's using, like, my YouTube account that is set up on the Xbox.
Oh, okay.
And so...
I think I see where this is going.
Yeah, so the only weird thing about it is that it is really messing with the algorithm that decides, like, what you might want to watch. So now the algorithm's like, it's okay, so you like woodworking and Saturday Night Live sometimes and, like, Nollywood soap dramas.
Dude, I feel like I didn't even catch all of those words.
What? Oh, so sorry. Nollywood Nollywood is like Bollywood or Tollywood. So anyways, if this isn't a thing you know, let me tell you a really fun thing. Any place where you make movies, like in quantity, you just knock off the H off of Hollywood and you substitute the first letter of wherever you're from. So like...
Okay, because, yeah, I'm familiar with Bollywood.
Yeah, so there's Bollywood, there's Tollywood, which is movies made in Tamil. There's Nollywood, which is movie made in Nigeria. I assume it just goes everywhere. Like Russia, Rollywood. Belarus, I guess that would be Bollywood again.
Bollywood again, and that's getting confusing, sure. But.
Yeah. Bellywood, I don't know. Anyways, you just, that's what you do. And so these movies are incredible. Like I feel like we should maybe do like a special episode at some point. We should keep a list of all the things we say we're going to do special episodes about. So here's the first great thing about
I know for
them.
a long time you had tried to get us to do a side project that was it Bollywood and Vine?
Yes, I still would like to do an episode of Bollywood and Vine. We got to do the Urkel cast. There's got to be a better name for that. And then we should do something about Nollywood. I guess we could just do Nollywood and Vine. So this is awesome. So these movies are made. I think they might genuinely knock out a filming of one of these movies in like a day, maybe two. They are shot, as far as I can tell, on like high quality camcorders, or at this point maybe like a GoPro, right? Or like an iPhone with a bunch of attachments.
Which is a really good camera, to be fair.
Oh yeah. Like it's, and they're about an hour and a half long, and they are shot I think just in like the producer's house. Like it's not like it's a set in the sense that they're doing movies there, but this is not a set in the sense of like they've gone someplace and constructed something. They're just like, whose house is free? Steve's? Great, we'll shoot there.
Okay.
And the titles they're very Sentai-esque in that the titles are like a full sentence long, and they tell you exactly what the movie is about. So the title of one of them is like, okay, sorry, let me just, I'm just going to pull it up on YouTube. So here's a couple. This one is called, quote, "This true life story will melt your heart but make you smile." This one is, "How do I tell my sister I am pregnant for her husband?"
Oh, no.
Let's see. True story of a water girl who met a true prince at the river.
A true prince?
Yeah. "She walked out on me that I am too old and poor for her, but now am a rich man." There's one that I remember, like, "I never knew he was the lost prince until he invited me into his house." Yeah, they're all they're all like this. They're amazing. That's that time I watched one. She said they're just as good as you think. And then the other thing is there will be like they do like series of movies where like each one's like an hour and a half, but like in a sense it is like one 6-hour movie as opposed to 4 hour and a half installments. Yeah, so it's just so a lot of African food. And I'm learning a lot about Nollywood
Lost
movies.
Princes, apparently.
Yeah. So what, Matt, is our second star of the week?
Dave, our second star of the week is I think I mentioned last week that I have recently begun playing a Conan the Barbarian tabletop game.
You have?
Yes, it is extremely good. The system is fun. The game is fun. Our buddy Josh is running it. Actually, we stayed up after Tim's birthday party. Josh and I just went to Denny's and stayed up until like 2:30 in the morning talking about Conan the Barbarian and World War II.
Oh, man, that sounds like a good one.
It was extremely good. Anyway, this Conan the Barbarian game,
I'm more interested in Conan than World War II, but...
I mean, listen, those are both deep loves of mine. So, this Conan game, the thing about it is that we are playing on Roll20. Like, we're not all getting together at a house because there's somebody who plays the game that is not able to be there in person. So we're doing it remotely.
Yeah.
So,
makes sense.
To do this, instead of using the voice client on Roll20, because that's a little not great.
Yeah, it's not great.
We are instead like using Roll20 for the like game mechanics stuff, but we were all talking on Discord instead. The Discord is, instead of going to the website, I'm running the app on my phone. So here's what this means, is that for like a couple of hours on Tuesdays, I'm just on a phone call on my phone, and I'm playing the game, but like, I'm not constantly needing to be at my computer. And so I can sort of roam because my phone's in my pocket and I'm just sort of, bopping around the apartment.
Yeah, cool.
And man, I will tell you what, I have not like dusted and swept my apartment as regularly in ages. Because like I'm not watching a movie and I'm not listening to a podcast and I'm just like part of this conversation and playing a game, but I'm also just kind of like standing there staring at my computer. I'm like, man, just sort of looking around. Should probably get out the Swiffer.
God, you got a lot of dust.
Yeah,
Did not notice.
It's been really fun. It's been really fun as a game, and it's also been a nice sort of positive move in my my weekly chores because I'm actually getting some of that stuff done. Man, like, and sometimes like I'll just mute my microphone and like go in and do a couple of dishes, clean my bathroom window. Like, as long as I can hear what they're doing over the sound of what I'm doing, like, everything's cool. So Tuesday has become my, like, Conan the Barbarian and domestic tidiness evening, and it's pretty good, honestly. Highly recommend. Highly recommend both.
No, listen, dude, that's next level. That's some next level. You're crushing it. You're crushing it. You know what, Matt? You are crushing it, but I feel like you also really got into gear.
I got into gear, man. I've shifted into turbo. That is from a different show that is related to this one. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I'm just really pleased about it. Dave, what is our fourth star of the week?
Oh, fourth star of the week is Playgrounds. But let me just say, quick shout out. It's summertime, so I have a little more podcast time now. Uh-huh. And so I have been going back and listening to Ranger Danger and Morphin Grid, their Turbo series. Mm-hmm. And I am genuinely astonished at how little resemblance it bears to Carranger.
Oh, it's shocking. I know we don't talk about this a lot, but the difference between the at least in that era of Power Rangers, the difference between the Power Rangers and the Sentai is like night and day.
Yeah. So anyways, our fourth star of the week is Playgrounds. And here's because right before this, but before bedtime, we took the kids to a playground, to an excellent playground.
Okay, now what made this playground so excellent?
Well, okay, there's a handful of things. First of all, great equipment. Second of all, it's like semi-secluded. Here's the third thing. The entire playground is enclosed.
Oh.
Like, there's a fence. It's not like you don't have to like pay to get in or anything. It's not like a gated community. But there is just gate. Like a big, but there is a gate and there is a big fence around this playground. So there is not like, they just can't get away, right? So you can kind of let them go and it's great. And it's also just like a very nice playground. And Beth and I were talking on the way back, and I was like, because she had told me about it. Like, we had a conversation about this playground. Uh-huh. She's like, you're not going to believe how great this playground is. So we go, and on the way back, I'm like, that was an amazing playground. And we're like enumerating the various qualities of this playground and comparing it to other playgrounds. And I just realized the weirdness of my life now that I am a 36-year-old dude, and I've looped back to having like very definite opinions about playgrounds.
Oh yeah, because like I remember when I was a youth, I had very strong opinions about playgrounds. But I have
this
not
playground
revisited
rules
that in some time.
Right. You're like, this playground rules, that playground sucks. And I think my criteria are different, obviously, at this point. Like the playground we grew up at, like the big North Olmsted one, it's terrible. I would never take the kids there. It's just like a giant field. And it's like, it's surrounded by 3 major roads. Terrible playground. At least for kids of my age. This playground we took them to, quiet, secluded, totally fenced in, that's a baller playground. And I stopped and I listened. You ever do this? Like you stop and you sort of like replay the conversation that you just had back to yourself in your head. It's like a little movie. And I just started laughing. Like it was such like a weird thing. And we're like, no, you can't go to that playground over there. That playground's terrible. And you're like, well, you can't go to this playground. And that's really nice, but it's in like a really swank part of town. And like when we go, like we're definitely the poorest people there.
I feel like what you need to do is you need to have this, like you need to find a situation in which it is not weird to have this conversation with an 8-year-old so that you can talk about what you love about playgrounds and they can tell you what they love about playgrounds and you can sort of compare and contrast.
Yeah, see, I would be a good part of like a focus group for this. That's what anybody who needs a playground focus group, you let me know. I'm your guy. I should be on all sorts of focus group. I have amazing opinions. Matt, what is our 5th star of the week?
Dave, our 5th star of the week is that the other day I remembered, and this is not something that I like forgot, but had not spent any sort of active brain cells thinking about recently. I remembered that I love juggling.
Oh yeah, here's my opinion on juggling. It's great.
Yeah, rules. Juggling rules. Juggling is the thing that I learned how to do in like junior high and high school instead of learning how to play guitar. Like I feel like everyone in that time of their life can learn like one thing that takes about that much time and effort to get good at. And I chose juggling. And I'm not going to say that that was the right or wrong call. It certainly doesn't impress girls, but it is fun.
Hey, listen. Maybe you are just... I got a counterpoint, Matt. Maybe you just need to hang out with girls that are impressed by juggling.
Maybe. I'll tell you what. I'm turning 35 in August. Haven't met a lot of them, though, is the thing.
Wow.
Haven't met a lot
I tell you,
my
wife thinks juggling is cool, so I got that one locked down. Yeah.
Again, maybe we're in a different focus group here. Anyway, so I was like, man, you know what I loved is juggling. But all of my old juggling equipment is either lost or like in bad condition, right? Because I haven't sort of actively pursued it in a long time. So like,
right.
I used to have a set of nice bean bags. Those are kind of disintegrating because I bought them in France,
happens, right?
And I lived in France in 2006. I bought them at a place called Bolshazar. It was very cool. So I got to get a new pair of bean bags, but that is actually not the thing that I have purchased most recently, Dave. Dave,
okay,
I got myself a new Diablo.
Giant koosh balls. What?
No, I got myself a new Diablo.
Oh, no kidding! Love the Diablo. I don't think of the Diablo as juggling precisely.
It's juggling adjacent. It's
juggling adjacent.
It's
like
thing
circus
that you buy
juggling
to
adjacent.
Throw in the air and then catch again.
Right.
And I think that all counts.
Yes.
Here's what I did not realize, Dave, is that Diablo technology has advanced.
Okay.
If you, the listener, do not know what we are talking about and think that I am talking about a video game from Blizzard, the Diablo is, imagine a butterfly yo-yo, but like fatter and made out of rubber and
that's pretty
big, but it's not actually attached to the string. The string instead is suspended between two sticks, and you like hold the two sticks and have the spinning yo-yo thing on the string, and you like manipulate it and toss it around and do tricks with it. Right? Do you think that's a pretty good explanation,
I think that seems pretty good.
So I bought a new one. I just like hopped on the internet and purchased one. And then while I was waiting for it to arrive, I'm like, man, I wonder if I got the right one. So I was doing Googling, and they're like, okay, here's the deal about the Diablo. I found a website that was telling me all about it. And the website said, okay, back in the 90s, Diablos used to be like this, but we don't do that anymore. Like, It used to be that the sticks that like the string was strung between were like longer and wooden, but now they're like these short carbon fiber light strings, And like the old ones, you cannot perform modern Diablo tricks on those old Diablos. It does not work.
No way.
And I was like, what is a modern Diablo trick? I don't know. And also, I accidentally bought a Diablo that has it's got ball bearings in it, Dave. It's got ball bearings in it.
Did you make an error? Did you buy a Diablo that was like far beyond your skill level?
Dave, I 100% bought a Diablo that is beyond my skill level. Like, not only are there things that I don't know how to do with this thing, but the things that I used to be able to do, like, just don't work on this fancy new Diablo. Because
like
the thing is, like,
you're outmoded, old man. You don't know the new.
I don't know the modern Diablo tricks. I'm still stuck in the 20th century, man. I bought a 21st century Diablo, and I don't know how to operate it. Dave, it only spins one way. The ball bearings lock it one way so that basically the way that the ball bearings are set up, the Diablo the axle will only rotate one way. Otherwise, the axle locks, which means that you can get a lot more speed because it the axle won't counterspin when you move the left stick. So it gets a lot faster, so you can do more tricks with it. But
I will nerd out about this a little bit.
The axle
That's a great idea.
It's an amazing idea, but the axle spins independently from the rest of it, so that there are some tricks that I used to be able to do where you would sort of get the axle of the Diablo sort of caught between the strings, and it would climb up the string.
Yeah, it would ride the string up and stuff.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore because the axle doesn't it's decoupled from this spin. It doesn't interact with it in the same way. And I'm trying to use this thing, and it's completely blowing my mind.
I'm creating an entire fiction around this where you show up to a Diablo meet. These young hot rodder Diablerists? That can't be right. Are licking. They've consumed the blood of an elder vampire, and they really like Chinese juggling toys. They look at you as a mid-30s guy, and they look at this new Diablo you've got, and they just smirk at you, and it's just I don't think you can. Right, you can't handle.
Can you even handle
man.
that sort of power?
and they and there's one old guy stand. You're on the beach, I think, and there's one old guy who rolls over, and he's got a Diablo from the 90s, and he's these young punks, they don't know the real history.
They don't know how we used to do it. Come on. But then he's doing cool stuff, but I'm totally out of practice, and it's way too much torque for me, and I just can't make the moves work anymore. And the sticks are too short, so I can't do the bit where you whip it around the stick and get a stay on it as it sort of flips around, because I can't range in where the sticks are anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, of course, by the end of the movie, you have fused old style and new style into a new. There's a montage where you invent a third hybrid Diablo. I think
the new way.
Yeah, exactly. This is all amazing. I would watch this movie.
Speaking of going to the beach and doing it, I might this summer become that dork at the beach or the park, hanging out and juggling by myself. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but also I don't know if I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, also, Matt, frankly, your ceilings are not high enough.
They're not. You gotta have a high ceiling to do those throws.
Yeah, we were very lucky as kids. Our house had a cathedral ceiling. It was 20 feet tall. You could really... But even with 10-foot ceilings, you can't really do it. I think you have to be a beach Diablo guy, Matt. And you know what?
Okay. Well, welcome to the summer of Matt being a beach juggler.
Listen, if a lady rolls up and is just nice juggling, you'll know you're in.
Or I will know to run away. I'm not sure exactly how I have that range.
Well, you got to play it by ear.
Yeah. Anyway, Dave, this has all been a delight to talk about. But what else will be a delight to talk about is episode 20, where they will test drive the ultimate famous cars. We're going to take a break. We're going to watch it. We will be right back. All right, welcome back. We have just watched episode 20, Test Drive, the ultimate famous cars. Dave, how do you feel about these famous cars?
This is a very, very good episode, and it leaves me with a lot of just burning questions.
I am excited to get to those questions, Dave.
Mostly about Kyosuke.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's hop in. So speaking of Kyosuke, the beginning of this episode, everyone else is at work except Kyosuke, who is mysteriously absent.
Yeah. And they're sort of wondering where he is. And Naoki is he's drawing some stuff. He's like, man, okay, this is weird, and I've got to tell you guys about this. And then we get like a flashback thing where we're seeing what Naoki is. And he is watching Kyosuke drive like pedal go-karts.
Yeah, not even like a regular go-kart, like a child's go-kart that you have to pedal with your feet.
Yeah.
And when I say a child's go-kart, I want to be very clear about this. Yeah, like he is on a track. He is the only adult on the track. Everyone else doing this is a child.
Yeah.
He's taking it very seriously.
Naoki sees him and stops him. And it's like, whoop. A, what are you doing? B, aren't you supposed to be at work? And Kyosuke says, this is test driver training. Like, he like sputters and he's like, no, this is important. Like, this is a part of my training.
I need it for my work.
Yeah. And then everyone is like, so we're back at Pegasus Studios, and everyone's like, that's weird. And Naoki's like, just so we're clear, does he know how to do this?
Is he good at his job? Now,
like,
part of this is dumb, right? Because
he's our test driver.
Like, on top of him being, like, the test driver for Pegasus, he's also the Red Racer. They've seen him drive cool. But I don't know. Maybe the theory behind this is that, like, well, when he's the Red Racer, he is channeling car magic, which makes him a better driver. So maybe he himself, like, he's good as the Red Racer, but as Kyosuke, he's kind of a bad driver, and he's been lying to us the whole time.
Well, that's the thing. I think that makes a lot of sense, because the rest of the Carrangers are like, you know, she's the accountant or whatever. Like, none of the rest of them are particularly, like, driving-oriented, but as the Rangers, they're very good drivers.
Right.
And so, and then there's, like nobody speaks up with firm affirmation, like, oh, no, Kyosuke's an amazing driver. Like, I have seen him do X or Y or Z. Like, it does not take much to topple their faith in Kyosuke, which in turn, it doesn't take much to topple my faith in Kyosuke. Like, I just assumed that he's like this amazing driver, and then everyone's like, I mean, we all did too, but is he?
Well, because also there's another flashback, and Naoki is at an arcade with Kyosuke, and they're like playing Cruisin' USA or something, right? Like some sort of like arcade driving game, and Kyosuke loses. And then Naoki says
10 times.
13 times.
13 times.
Naoki's like, yeah, not only did I beat him 13 times in a row. Guys, Kyosuke might be a really bad driver. In fact, Minoru says...
He's just like, oh yeah, I thought it was weird, but like... And I don't know what like the details of it are, but there's like a tree and there's like prayer strips hanging from it. I assume there's like a festival.
There is actually the festival that is being referenced here. Actually, we get a fair bit of it throughout this episode. Once I looked it up.
We?
It is called Tanabata.
Okay. That's right.
And it is the Star Festival. And, like, there's a whole thing where there are, like, these two deities represented by these two stars. And at a time of year when those two stars are in alignment, there is this festival where, like, you go out and you tie your wishes to a tree to, like, you know...
Yeah.
Do a thing.
And so they're like... So Min was like, oh, yeah, I thought it was weird because I saw his wish... And his wish was, please make me a great driver.
Right.
Which is, okay, so like this seems to... I feel like maybe Kyosuke isn't actually a very good driver. Because, like, if it were everybody else, it'd be like, oh, that's just a weird thing. But Kyosuke himself is like, has this wish. I think he maybe just snowed everybody.
Or maybe he's just feeling like, if we're being generous to Kyosuke, maybe he is a great test driver, but he sees everyone else being so good at being Carrangers, and he's feeling a little self-conscious that they're like encroaching on his territory.
Okay, maybe that would be it. So Kyosuke shows up, and he's got like a helmet, like a driving helmet and a suit on, and he walks in, and everyone's like looking at him weird. He's like, what are you guys doing? And then they all advance on him in a really threatening way. I'm pretty sure Minoru barks at him.
Minoru does bark at him like a dog. Yes, he does.
They just like chase him out of Pegasus. There's no resolution to this. They just chase him out of Pegasus Motors.
Minoru is holding the tree with the wishes tied to it, like chasing him with it like a weapon.
So we go from there to the BB Saloon. Well, not the BB Saloon. We go to Barbarian. Sorry. And Instructor Richie Hiker like walks into this bathroom, and it's the weirdest bathroom I've ever seen. It's
huge. It's circular. The toilet is in the middle of the room.
The dead center of the room, and there's nothing else in it.
No sink, notably.
I'm not like a nerd. Like, listen, TMI for a moment. Feel free to hop forward for 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. I'm not like a private pooper. You know, some people are like, I could only poop at home. That's not a problem for me. I do feel like I would have trouble pooping in the round.
Right. I feel like I at least need my back to the wall.
I think that's it. I need my back to the wall. Just in case, like, I don't know. It's like an Old West situation.
Right, you don't want someone sneaking up on you.
Right, but like
I mean, for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons, although I guess if you were to be really, really surprised, already being on the can would be a good place to do it.
We don't need to get too deep into this, I don't think, Dave.
Anyways, so so Instructor Richie Hiker's in this really weird bathroom, and he is reading this legend. And the legend, it sounds like it's basically this Tanabata story, or the Tanabata Festival story, but adjusted for a universe in which car magic is real. So the deal is that there are these two wild cars, like wild stallions, but like wild cars, and they drive around in space.
Right. It's like if Shadowfax was a Jeep. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, thank you. And but there was like a Shadow Fax and a Shadow Fix, and they like all they wanted to do was like race, and like people like try to ride them and they can't, and then like they're also like maybe dangerous a little bit because like they're so untamable, and so somebody prays to God.
It is the two like deities of the Tanabata.
Oh, that's
festival.
right. The two deities of the Tanabata Festival. They're like, we get like one chance a year to be together, and these cars are driving around and they're really messing it up for us. Could you please handle this? And so the two cars are sealed inside of an asteroid. And there's a great visual where it's just like two toy cars and then like two very clearly just like cut in half pieces of a foam asteroid just like close around them. So one of the cars is a Pegasus. It has like it's not a Pegasus, it's a car. Right. But it has like the aura of a Pegasus.
It has big Pegasus energy.
Yeah, and then the other one is a dragon. So it's a Pegasus. It's like a Pegasus Jeep and like a dragon sports car.
Flip that, but yes.
Oh, did it? Okay, got it. And so then they're sealed in an asteroid, and then that's the story.
Yeah.
And then
so what we are pulled out of this fantasy moment by a knock at the door, and what we realize now is that this is not just any bathroom. This is President Gynemo's private bathroom that Instructor Richie Hiker has like snuck into.
Now,
and President Dynamo
it does make the layout make a lot more sense
to get in.
Yeah, he super needs to pee. And like Instructor Richie Hiker is trying to talk to him, but he's like, I've got an idea, like, about these things. And President Gyno keeps cutting him off. He's like, yeah, that's all very cool. I very much need to pee.
Like, honestly, do whatever you want. Just get out of this room right now. This is my bathroom, and I need it immediately.
So, now, I was going to say, the layout of the bathroom does make a lot more sense once you know that it is President Gynemo's bathroom, because he has an enormous head.
That's true. Yeah, if I had his weird, like, clunky body, I might also need a totally bizarre bathroom to use. So, Richie Hiker leaves the bathroom. President Gadamer is running in, and Richie Hiker says, hey, so I'm definitely doing this. This is my new plan to beat the Carrangers, because you know I'm always researching new ways to do it. Who do you think I should enlist? And President Gadamer says, honestly, I need to leave this conversation immediately. I do not care. Just take WW Waricho.
Like, take that dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
So
now, this turns out to be extremely advantageous.
Yeah, because WW Waricho is their best miner.
Also,
he's got a great look. He's like a
super good look.
Yeah, he's a cool Birdman with like a rad jetpack.
It might be the exact same jetpack as what's his name? The Weasel dude with the jetpack from Carranger.
Kamitanchi. It might be.
It's a jetpack that has wings. So he's flying around this asteroid belt, and I think the thing that makes him the greatest miner of all the Bozok is that he has some sort of like goggles or something where he can look at an asteroid and it immediately scans it and says, oh, there's either something in this or there is nothing in this, which would have been super helpful when I was playing Mass Effect.
Yeah, I just don't know why anyone ever thought that was like a fun element of that game. So he's looking around, he's looking for one specific asteroid in, I would assume, the universe?
Yeah, and it's not even like he knows what it looks like. He just knows that there is an asteroid that he's looking for.
Now, when they say he's their best miner, I wonder if he just has like, it's not necessarily like mining skill, but if there's like a mining luck stat where like you just are really good at happening across, you know what I mean? Like when they roll the random encounter, like you've got a really good modifier for it.
Uh-huh.
Because he lands on an asteroid and he's like, there seem to be a lot of like Japanese spirit seals on this asteroid. I'm sure it's nothing. And then he accidentally like knocks part of it off. And of course, it's the asteroid.
Right. So the asteroid breaks in half. The two cars like pop out and like fly down to Earth. Because, of course, where else would they go? Now, down on Earth, Kyosuke and Naoki are on an errand. Kyosuke has been tasked with throwing away the wish tree because, I don't know, I guess he has, like, defiled it with his stupid wish. And so he is responsible for doing it. Naoki is just there because Kyosuke said, hey, I'm doing this. You have to come with me. And Naoki has no idea how he got talked into doing this, and he's not happy about it.
Yeah. It's not really clear. So they have like this little argument.
It's clear to me, the watcher of the episode, why he's there. Because it's because we needed the Blue Ranger to be there.
I do. He is wearing a Snap-on shirt, which I thought was a fun touch. Mm-hmm. And Snap-on is a brand of mechanics tools. And Kyosuke is like defending his skills. He's like, no, dude, like I am the test driver. Like I'm the guy. Like no, like I really am good at this.
If you really saw my driving skills, it would astonish you.
Yeah, like you would literally not even be able to handle it.
It's like, come on, man. Who would try to learn how to be a test driver by doing go-karts? And Naoki just like stops and points at him like, you would like do it.
You would do
did it today.
I saw you do it.
And Kyosuke's like, yeah, no. That was just an excuse I was using to cut work. That had nothing to do with anything.
Like, also, I just like go-karts, whatever. So the cars land, of course, right next to them. And then WWRHO lands right behind them. So the cars look cool. Like I said, there's like a red sports car. It's very convenient. They're color-coded. There's a red sports car and like a blue SUV, Jeepish,
like a Jeep.
sort of.
I would call it more of a Jeep.
And the cars are going crazy. Like they're driving around and they're being wild, right?
Yeah. They like you see like the images of like the Pegasus and the dragon like shadowed over them as they're driving. And what's cool is that the images of the Pegasus and the dragon are the sort of thing that you would see painted on the side of the van. Like
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
like,
it's like some rad airbrush.
Yeah, like they do not have a rare rad airbrush on them. They are themselves the embodiment of those rad airbrushings.
So I think what we can take away from this episode, Matt, is that if you had like a rad those cool airbrushes are a lot closer to the spirit of the real thing than I think I would have previously given them credit for.
Yeah, that's car magic, baby.
That is car magic. So if the Carrangers are doing like awakened car magic, right? If you are just like a dude, is that like with like a Pegasus painted on your van? Is that like hedge magic? Like,
you're just going through the motions, and it does something, but it's not all the way there.
You're not really keyed in to the car magic, but like you recognize something in the power of painting a Pegasus on the side of your kicking van.
Dude, we need to stop talking about this, or I will get a Pegasus painted on the hood of my station wagon.
Man, I don't... Listen, aside from monetary concerns, because like I'm sure it's expensive to get like really quality air, I don't know why you haven't already.
Well, I drive that car to work. I don't want to have that conversation.
Or do you? Listen, Matt.
Maybe this is my opportunity to get
here's
people
all I'm
to
gonna
believe in car
Matt.
magic.
Here's all I'm gonna say. Here's all I'm gonna say. This episode is about 20 years old, and I know that you work for a company that is owned by a larger Japanese firm. So what I'm presenting to you is a scenario in which like the 36, 37-year-old, boss comes in from Japan, visits your place of work. Now, I think for this to work, you have to get the exact image from the show.
It can't just be a Pegasus. It needs to be.
Yeah, it has to be this one, preferably both, maybe on like either side or something. He sees the car, recognizes a kindred soul, and says, "Get me the man who owns that car. He needs to be president of the company." I'm not saying it will happen, but I am saying it could happen, and it won't unless you get a sweet airbrush Pegasus on your car.
Now, Dave, here's the problem with this theory, is that I've already established that I might become a juggling in the park guy. And Dave, you can be a juggling in the park guy, or you can be a Pegasus on your station wagon guy. You cannot be both guys. It is forbidden.
Matt, I think you just need to decide if you want to focus on your love life or your career. And that's a choice that only you can make, but you should make it. So the cars, like somehow the cars are like, they see Kyosuke's prayer. Like obviously like, they don't have eyes, but the show makes it clear that they have like observed this. And Kyosuke
Dave,
sees this.
We're going to talk about this. I think these cars have eyes, and those eyes are the headlights.
They do not have literal eyes. They clearly are like seeing through their headlights, but the show makes it clear that that's what is happening, and that they are seeing this. They see Kyosuke's prayer, and oh boy, does Kyosuke want to drive these cars real bad.
He needs it. He needs to prove himself, Dave.
Yeah. So, but obviously everybody wants to drive these cars. Like, this is the point. So the Bozoke land also. and they're like, listen, I don't think we're going to be able to ride those cars. Just capture them and like disassemble them.
Right.
And we'll either like figure out what makes them tick, or we will like rebuild them with Bozoke energy or whatever. But the point is, get the cars and destroy them for our nefarious purposes.
Right. Kyosuke and Naoki are furious at this, and they're like, no, you can't do this. You don't love cars the way that we do. We're going to drive these cars. To which Zelmoda says, how could you ordinary citizens possibly handle these cars? Because they still don't know that these are the Carrangers. And I love that every time they see them, they specifically refer to them as ordinary citizens. It's extraordinarily fun.
It's amazing. So they do capture the blue car off the bat, and Noki with it.
Yeah.
They just have like a giant net, and they like capture it, and then they just like they basically just teleport.
Well, they're almost going to capture the red car, but the red car has a laser on it, and it shoots them. And they're like, okay, it is time for us to leave. We got one.
Oh, that's
we'll
right.
Circle around for the other one. It's fine.
And so Kyosuke is like, listen, car, like, I'm going to drive you, and like, we're going to go rescue like my friend and your friend. Like, let's do it. And what follows is basically a Bronco busting scene.
Right, like Kyosuke zips up his like driver onesie. That's not what they're called. His like jumpsuit that is like sort of half zipped and tied around his waist. He puts his helmet back on. He tries to get in the car, but the car's like driving away and like hitting him with the door as he's trying to get in it. He does manage to get in, and the car is just driving directly towards a building.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so at first, Kyosuke's like, dude, what are you planning on doing? And then he's like, wait a minute. Never mind. Like, you can't out daring car me. Let's do it. And I
am Kyosuke, the test driver. I'm going to do this.
And he just like jams on the gas and goes even faster. And I like into this moment, the car is like, you're as crazy as I am, basically. You are worthy to ride me or drive me. You're worthy to drive me. And then rather than hitting the wall, it goes like full on Matt Tracker, like mask car, and just
Dave,
like
that
turns.
is in my notes.
Yeah, I assume you like capital M, capital A, capital S, capital K, right? You did it.
The mobile armored strike command.
Yeah, the mobile armored strike command. So it just straight up turns into a car. So there's a handful of things that are amazing about this. First
it was
of all,
already a car. It turns into a flying car.
It turns into a plane. Turns into a plane car. So first, it's like Mask, which is awesome. Second of all, because it's got like a big jet engine, which I didn't notice on the back of it. It's got a real Rodimus Prime look to it, which I dig. And then also, why did it not look like this in space?
Well, Dave, in space, you don't need aerodynamics.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if you're already in space, it doesn't matter.
The one thing that I want to talk about this car is that it's an automatic transmission, and that feels weird, right?
Matt, that is also in my notes.
Like, it should be a manual. This should be a stick shift. But it's definitely like a 1995 Japanese car with an automatic transmission that they put some stuff on the side of. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love every part of it. But it really should have been a manual.
Yeah, sorry. What my notes say is, in all caps, hold up, this thing is an automatic? ? Because, yeah, that's insane. Like, I'm not even like a car guy, although I do prefer a manual. It's insane that this is an automatic. Like, that's a criminal crime.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see if next week the episode is written by Yoshio Urasawa or if he had to go to prison for this crime.
Yeah. So, and then like a symbol appears on the hood of the car. I assume it's like the Carranger symbol.
It's a big letter C, so yeah, I assume so.
Yeah. So,
he does shout, "Don't underestimate me," as the car flies away. It's great. They jump.
It's very good. There's a beautiful moment with Signal Man.
Real quick, the car does there's like this energy thing that like goes over his shoulder, and then it becomes the seatbelt because the car realizes that he needs to be safe and puts the seatbelt on him.
So there's a moment they're flying over Signal Man, and Signal Man's like, hey, they're flying without permission. And then he stops. He's like, wait a minute. The sky is not my jurisdiction. Like, somebody else will deal with that. And then
Lots
he just
of
goes
questions,
back to...
Dave. What is Signal Man's jurisdiction? Because he specifically says the sky of the earth is not my jurisdiction. It's like, what of the earth is your jurisdiction? You just showed up here and decided you were police.
Well, I think it's like if you're on the road, that's traffic and Signal Man is in charge.
Okay.
If you're in space, then you're on like the space roads, and then that's also traffic and he's in charge. But if you're like on a planet but not in traffic on the planet, I think that's not. So presumably if there were like a submarine, Signal Man would also not be concerned.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
So we go from there, we go to this warehouse, and the blue car, the Dragon one, is all chained up, and Naoki is also chained up, and the bad guys are advancing on the car to like disassemble it, and Naoki like kind of busts out and he breaks his chains
they're not trying to disassemble it with like wrenches. They have chainsaws. Now, this is very useful because Naoki is able to like maneuver himself into like getting his manacles cut by the chainsaw, which is a risky maneuver, but it pays off.
Yeah, I don't feel like it would in real life, but this is a show for kids. Also, you would not want to take a car apart with a chainsaw. But Naoki like runs over and he's like defending the car, like, you know, kind of, you got to go through me first, sort. And the car honks real loud. Mm-hmm. And cries.
See, this is why I was saying that the cars definitely have eyes, because tears come out of the headlights.
Yeah, tears. It does. So it does cry. And then there's an amazing. So the red Pegasus like flies over the warehouse, and there's it honks, and then the blue car honks, and then it like the blue car, like Naoki gets in the blue car, I think, and then the blue car like shoots like something off of its bumper, and it's basically like
it's got a winch.
Yeah, it's got like a giant grappling hook winch that it could launch, and it launches itself to the bumper of the red car and like pulls itself out through the skylight, and then they're both flying through the air, and then they all land, and Naoki and Kyosuke have like rad car buddies, spirit car, Dragon Pegasus friends.
Kyosuke says like, me and this car, we're totally in sync. And Naoki says like, yeah, me and this car became very good friends. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. So the other three Rangers are already, I forget why, frankly, because it's kind of immaterial.
Like, it has been a while since we've said this. There's no explanation whatsoever. The other three arrive fully henshined and are like, okay, we're here. Where's it all happening? I don't see them. Like, there was no, like, maybe Kyosuke messaged them once he was, like, flying in the car.
Maybe. So the other three are fighting the Bozoke, and then Kyosuke and Naoki arrive, and the other three Rangers are like, whoa, that's so cool. Those cars are amazing. So like they're all blown away, and then there's just like a sick racing fight, basically.
Yeah. Kyosuke does some really sick racing. Like he does a is it called a J-turn, where you're driving in reverse and then like hit the brakes and turn real quickly, so suddenly now you're moving, like you're maintaining momentum, but now you're driving forward.
It might be. There's also something called like a bootlegger's hairpin or something.
I don't know, man. I don't know car magic. So, but Kyosuke does that move, and everyone's like, oh right, he is good at driving. That's our Kyosuke.
Yes, it is called the J-turn, Matt.
Dave, do you remember that show? Did you ever see the like 3 episodes of it that ever existed?
No, I don't know that I did.
Okay, here is how the getaway worked. They either went to an abandoned town or built a small town in the desert. They had cops in cars driving patrols around this area. And they also had a stunt driver who also was driving through this town. The rules were that as soon as the stunt driver did an illegal driving thing, the cops were allowed to start chasing him. but we're not allowed to until that moment. And then the stunt driver had to like use stunt driving to get away from the real cops who were like the other participants in this show.
Okay, that's amazing.
It was super cool. I've tried to find it on YouTube and have never been able to find something that's like high enough res to be enjoyable to watch. But it was really cool.
So Matt, just real quickly, it is a Moonshiner's turn is a J turn.
Okay.
It's the same thing. So
right on. We're both right. Congratulations to us and to Cars and to Magic.
Nice.
Car Magic.
What other magic is there ultimately? So basically, like, everybody's blown away, and then the Pegasus car unleashes its cool move, which is called Pegasus Final Burning.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that's basically it.
There is a bit where the blue car like shoots the winch again to hold WW Warucho in place so that Pegasus can hit it with Pegasus Final Burning. It's a cool combo move.
Yeah, but like there's no giant fight. That's pretty much it. Where WW Warucho goes down to Pegasus Final Burning.
We do get they name the cars.
Oh yeah,
they are named Pegasus Thunder and Dragon Cruiser,
which I like a lot. And
which
then,
actually those names were kind of carried over into the Power Rangers. Not exactly, but in the Power Rangers Turbo, these cars were called Storm Blaster and Lightning Cruiser. So they at least carried like one word out of 4.
Yeah. So yeah, like almost identical. Glad you brought that up, Matt.
Hey, listen, they carried over a full 25% of something from the Sentai into Power Rangers Turbo. That might be the most they've ever done.
So then we get our last scene, and they're just having a campfire where they're like burning the tree that has all the wishes on it. Because, like, I assume A, it is traditional to do so, and B, they're like, Kyosuke got his wish, and he's, like, now he's a great driver.
Yeah.
So...
And that's it.
So, hooray.
That is the end of the episode. But Dave, of course, this is not the end of our episode, because first, we need to determine how WW Warucho fares in the Creature Royale.
Well, okay, he's in kind of a funky spot. Because I like his vibe, and he's got a very, very cool look. But
he's got a good like 2-part gimmick. He's a cool bird guy who also has a jetpack, so he's got a lot of like neat flying stuff happening. But he's also like a miner and has special equipment and abilities for mining, and I think that's neat. And I also like that President Dynamo was like, man, you had something in an asteroid, and he immediately knew how to delegate that task to the right person, and he sent it to WW Warucho, their greatest miner.
Yeah, now, the things that are working against him is that, like, in the episode itself, like, he gets the cars free, and then basically, like, it's a driving-centric episode, because they've got these rad cars, so in the actual monster fights... He's basically he's not present.
No, but here is a sort of an X Factor thing that I think I brought up a while ago, and I keep forgetting to talk about as we're doing this. The X Factor to this is that, like, yes, WW Warucho does not get a lot to do, and he dies at the end of the episode. We've had a lot of monsters like that in Carranger so far, but WW Warucho is a character who I wish we had another episode with.
Okay. I think that, that's a very good point. I would have liked to have seen more of this guy.
Right. Now, we didn't, right? So, like, we can't give him too much credit for that. But
I think there's something to be said.
He had a lot of upside, and, like, he didn't get to do it all, but I feel like we should take that into account.
Okay, so I feel like our easiest spot to start with is spot number 55, Kame Itachi the Sickle Weasel, because he also has a jetpack.
Yeah, I think that's a good starting point. Now, Kame Itachi the Sickle Weasel had another jetpack, might have had a similar jetpack. Kame Itachi the Sickle Weasel did not unleash a legendary duo of magical cars from space. But he did team up with the flowery Kunoichi Gumi. Did I say that right this time?
You did.
You would think that I would have been able to say it right one time while we were doing Carranger. I feel like I get it right
You did.
every
We
time
made a big
now.
deal out of it.
He teams up with them, and he also like transforms school children into monsters, and that was creepy and bad, but also cool because the kids were okay at the end.
So, spot number 5 is Kama Itachi the Sickle Weasel.
I'm sorry, spot number 5?
55, sorry.
Okay.
55 is Kama Itachi, and spot number 69 is Lieutenant Shiryu, which I think he also kind of has that X factor of, I really would have liked to have seen more of him.
Mm-hmm. Now, man, you know who would have been good in this episode? Is Max, the King of Speed.
He would have been very good in this episode.
Yeah, Max the King of Speed is at number 74. WWE War Show is not as cool as Max the King of Speed.
No. He definitely isn't. So I'm kind of going down the list, and...
Okay, further down the list, we've got PP Rappa at number 123. Number 100... So... PP Rappa was the guy who had, like, numbers powers.
Yeah.
And numbers powers was cool, and he looked pretty neat, but, like, I had definitely seen enough of him by the end of the episode. So I
was good.
I like WW Warucho more than PP Rappa, but I feel like the people right above him we're not going to get too far above, because at like number 116 we have Leech Drill, and he got very small, and that was good.
That was very cool. No, I think we can cut it off at Vacuum Dimension, honestly. I don't, because right above Vacuum Dimension is Tengu, and Tengu is like actually like pretty cool.
Tengu is pretty good. Vacuum Dimension also stole people's love, and that was weird and interesting.
That's also weird and awesome.
And that was also an episode where a guy like befriended a little girl who was like had a weird relationship with her sister, and that was great.
Okay, so are we going to say the new 120?
Yeah, the new 120. That is where...
All right, there you go, WW Oricho.
You are... 120 sounds really low, but don't forget that at this point the list is like 160 something long. So
yeah, even 120 is like top. Anyways. But Matt, that is going to do it.
Yes, Dave, that is going to do it for another episode of Licensed to Carranger. Before we finish up here, I'd like to remind you all that you can email the show at supersentaibrothers@gmail.com. If you want to get any updates on future episodes or check out the things that we're talking about on Twitter, we are at Super Sentai Bros. If you like the show, please remember that shining in the iTunes review section, there are 5 stars. Dave, iTunes is going away. You hear that? I
did not hear that.
Not only is it actually called Apple Podcasts, and I should have been saying that the whole time, but iTunes itself is going away, so I'm really going to have to stop saying that at some point. But for today, just give us a rating in Apple Podcasts. 5 stars, please. Don't just give us a rating. Give us the good one.
Give us a good rating.
Yeah, don't waste your time with those lesser ratings. You're better than that, and we're better than that. And I think we all deserve a little more. Dave... the Super Sentai Brothers are a production of Retrograde Orbit Radio. To listen to all of the other great Retrograde Orbit Radio shows, you can find them at retrogradeorbitradio.com. Once again, we are the Super Sentai Brothers. I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
And we'll see you next week for the greatest show on Earth. Good episode.